You know, there are perks to this job. We're here today at Chaneys in Bowling Green, where they make the best ice cream around. Eat your heart out, Matt.
You all already know that Miss Glimmer is a horse. Miss Glimmer's a pig. Just think how much milk.
Farm was settled by my great-grandfather in 1888. They started with, of course, just like most farmers at that time, with a couple of cows and had some pigs and had some mules, and if they had it, you know, they used them here.
What was that? Please say milk.
We had multiple
It's
enterprises
milk.
until about 1940 when Dad started the dairy. Started with 2 cows, and by 2001 that had grown to about 125 cows. And at that time we had an internet sale to kind of reduce the herd down. At that time we started looking at another way to maybe keep the farm going, and that's when we decided to do the agritourism. And that's when we built the dairy barn, was in 2003. Dad was very logistical, and when he first started hearing about it, I think he had some big questions. But once I sat down and explained it to him about what we really had in mind, I think that he saw then with the way that we have these houses and a park now across the road, and Bowling Green is coming closer and closer and closer as we go. He knew that things would have to change. So Dad was very for it and absolutely enjoyed it. When we first started off, the first year, 2004, we made a little over 4,000 gallons of ice cream. And probably myself or Deborah or one of our children, Jessica, probably helped us make the ice cream for the first 2 or 3 years. And then it's gotten to the point where it's just kind of overwhelming. And so now, last year we made over 18,000 gallons of ice cream. This year, right now, we're running around 20 to 25% ahead of that figure at this time of the year, so it continues to grow. We're not able to use our own milk in our ice cream. It's something that people think, but it's not. But it's okay because we use a Kentucky source for as much. Usually around 75 to 80% of the milk that goes in our ice cream comes from Kentucky farms. And right now we're using Prairie Farms milk mixed for our ice cream. We put it into a machine, and it's made just kind of like you do when you used to just sit in the back porch and churn the ice cream. Except it's a little bit quicker than that, because now it takes around 12 minutes to make about 10 gallons of ice cream. And so when you figure that we're going to make 18,000 gallons of ice cream, there's quite a few batches that are going to go through that. We were so fortunate when we decided to choose ice cream as where we were going to go. I mean, in 2010, USA Today named us best ice cream in Kentucky. We were on the television show Justified. We've been very blessed with our ice cream. We really, really have.
Oh! Now, I understand that you don't have milk sprayed at you every day. I understand that's not a problem. Now, somebody asked me one time, said, how far can you shoot the milk? And I said, I think that I can hit the back road. How are you doing, sir?
It's very important for
name,
kids
sir?
to know where their food comes from. I think a lot of times living in the city or a suburb that they don't understand more than it comes from the grocery store. So for them to come to Chaneys Dairy Farm and to learn about where their food comes from, especially focusing on the dairy products, it's very important for them to understand that. It finishes off our unit that we're studying on farm life and life cycle, and we also are doing food groups. So it kind of culminates and is a great finale to our lessons.
What is that? What color is it?
We had 8,000 kids out last year. I think we'll probably have more than that this year. So we've probably had 30 to 35, 40,000 kids that have come out here since we've been doing this. And I think they leave with an appreciation that, yeah, food comes from the grocery store, but without the farmer, there's nothing at the grocery store for them to pick up. And I think that's an important thing that Deborah and I do, and I think we call ourselves, we're advocates for agriculture.
I do too.
I feel very proud to have been able to be part of the education of a lot of these children, and it goes, I guess, far beyond that. Carl and I try really hard to make a difference in their lives, and what we didn't realize when we began, even though we knew it was going to be a ministry, they also minister to us. And that happens not only with the children that work for us, but with the people, the professions that we work with through our vendors, people like Farm Bureau, and a number of other sources. We really enjoy the relationships that we make and treasure that.
You know, we always talk to the kids about the relationships that we have with our animals. But I think now for the last 3 years, it's become even more important, because if they're seeing something on TV that maybe tells them something a little bit different, now they can say, hey, now wait a minute, I was out on the farm, I saw a cow, I saw a farmer, and I saw the way he feels about that animal. And it's not like they say, so maybe gives them a different perspective than maybe what they might get otherwise.